tip that on its head and talk about being extraordinary being when you are embracing the ordinariness of who you are and you are magnifying that. So it's almost like you're being even more truthful and vulnerable and sharing all the bits and pieces of yourself that maybe are scary to share. That for me is being extraordinary, because what I truly believe is that when you share the scariest parts of yourself, your flaws, your vulnerability, what makes you different, instead of trying to hide it, that's your biggest strength. You know, how many of you have seen Wonder Woman, the movie? Right? It's when you tap into who you really are that you have that superpower that you thought you didn't have or you didn't know about, or that you were trying to hide, like in Frozen. You know, trying to hide and be something that you're not, it never works out well. Being extraordinary for me is, yes, going the extra mile, but doing so in a way where you're really standing in your truth. You're not trying to be someone else. Ordinariness is choosing to hide and to cover that up. 80% of the world, and this, you know, don't quote me on this, I didn't get the statistics people to tell me this, but from what I see, 80% of the world is ordinary. They are trying to be something that they're not. And there's 20% of the world that really is extraordinary in my definition. That's really standing in the truth of who they are. And I want you to imagine, what would the world be like if 100% of the world stopped trying to hide who they are and stood in that truth and vulnerability and were extraordinary? Can you imagine a world like that? There is enough room for everybody. It's not like, okay, we've got enough people who are being vulnerable and truthful and going the extra mile. We don't need any more, right? There's enough room for everybody to be extraordinary. And as you're looking at this challenge that I'm putting down, and we're thinking about keeping your job, what we're really talking about in my mind is being valuable, being valued. Really looking for ways to be on purpose, to be embracing your strengths. And so, would you agree that if you focus on being extraordinary, that could positively impact your work and your life and your businesses and your employees and your clients that you work with? Would it be a positive thing in the workplace?
Yes.
Is it possible that it would help you get a promotion, be seen as someone to give a raise to, someone to keep around, someone who's seen as valued, right? And so with being extraordinary, it is something that is going to make you stand out and make you very, very valuable. So there's 3 ways that you can really stand out. 3 little ways that I'm just going to talk about today to stand out and be extraordinary. And you're going to write these down. There's room on your sheet. So the first key is to stop trying. Stop trying. Upgrade your language and upgrade your life. The word trying, it's like this gray area. I'm trying, right? What does it really mean? It means I'm not committing. It's when we use, when someone asks us to do something, they might say, can you do this? And we say to them, I'll try, right? If instead of saying I'll try, you actually think, take a moment and make a choice, you will be extraordinary, because you'll be standing in a place of truth, of honesty, you'll be more valued, you'll be extraordinary. A lot of times we say, I'll try, because we're just trying to please everyone. But it doesn't end well, because then we have expectations that we're not able to meet. And it's not just the word trying, but I'm picking on that one today, because I think it's a good one. I encourage you to pause before you speak, right? And then also notice after you speak, right? So strategy number 1 is really, instead of saying I'll try, is to really say what you mean and think what you say. Say what you mean and think what you say. The second strategy is to pause before you speak. And if you don't catch yourself, even today, right, there's been a few times where I've been in mode and I've said the word trying a few times, and every time I go like this, right? I'm really aware of it and I notice, and you know what I do? I stop, I rewind, and I force myself to reword it. And it's a really good habit to get into. So pause, stop, and if you need to rewind, you can go ahead and rewind. The third strategy is to notice how often you're using the word trying. Now, you'll all be aware of it at least for the next 24 hours right now, right? I can count on that. So just notice when you use the word try and why you're using it, right? And how's that working out for you, right? How many of you have tried to lose weight? How's that working out, right? Trying. I'm trying. You're either doing it or you're not, right? I'm trying to save money, right? Very non-committal. Is that going to bring money towards you, right? So begin to look at what language you're using, even inside your head, right? I won't go in there, but you can go in there. And begin to upgrade that. So that's key number one, doable, right? Would you all agree that's doable? Little thing that you can start doing that will make you extraordinary and will shift you as an employee, as an employer, as a manager, as a business owner, make a big impact. Key two, so we've had something we're gonna stop doing in key one. Key two, start asking yourself questions and upgrade your life to living a quest. When we think of heroines and heroes, they're always on a quest, right? They're trying to figure something out. And in life, I think we all are too, but we get sidetracked by everything that's going on. We get distracted. And we forget, we lose the plot, I like to say, right? Like, what was he doing again? I mean, sometimes I'll get to the fridge and I'll open the fridge. Have you ever done that? And it's like, what was he doing again? What am I doing here, right? So start asking yourself questions. Strategy number one for this key is ask yourself, what is my priority right now, right? What's my priority right now? You could even say right now, like after we finish today. What's your priority? You might say, what's my priority before lunch, right? Keep asking yourself in different segments of the day, what's my priority right now? And just ask yourself questions so you get into the habit of thinking, what am I doing right now? Why am I doing this right now? Strategy two is what I just said, why am I doing this? So when you catch yourself doing something, we're not talking about being an obnoxious employee that's like, why am I doing that? Kind of like a 5-year-old, right? Why do I have to do that, right? Not from that place, but just getting curious. That's what this quest is about, is getting curious. Why am I doing this, right? Is this the best way to do this? And just getting a little bit more curious. And the third strategy is, well, how can I upgrade this right now? So you notice I like that word upgrade a lot, right? Because I think if we're always looking for the upgrade, we're also becoming more extraordinary. The final and third key is to get in momentum and upgrade your default. So I don't know if you've heard this, but you all know what willpower is, right? Yeah. Willpower, right? What's something you've used willpower to do?
Diet.
To diet, right? What else have we used willpower for?
Making it to work. Make it to work.
Making it to work some days, right? Okay?
Getting through traffic.
Getting through traffic. I'm using my willpower. Getting up in the morning, right? We use that willpower all day, every day.
Anger management.
Anger management, right? Willpower. I'm going to be peaceful and zen-like, right? Did you know that there is a finite amount of willpower? There's nothing wrong with you, but if you keep tapping into your willpower in the morning, you're going to run out at some point and have no more willpower left. You don't have an unlimited supply of willpower. And what do you think happens when you run out of willpower? You go to your default. So if you run out of willpower to eat well, when you go to your default, what happens is you eat whatever you would usually eat, right? So if you can begin to upgrade your default, even when you run out of willpower, you're going to be operating at a more extraordinary level. So I challenge you, here we go again with that challenge word. Strategy one is to look at your time. What would it take to be early, more productive, or more prepared? How could you upgrade time for yourself, right? That would most certainly, would you agree, make you a more valued employee, employer, manager, or business owner. So begin to look at upgrading time, arriving earlier, being more productive, using your time more wisely. Second strategy is money. Start to be aware of money, not just your money, but also the money of how much your employer is paying you for an hour, or if you have your own business, how much money this is costing you to do this way, and be much more mindful of money and what things are costing you. And when you buy things, how many hours did I have to work to buy this CD or this movie or go on that trip or eat that dinner? It's going to shift your relationship with money because you're also getting curious and using key number 2 there as well. And finally, energy. So these strategies are all around the main resources, time, money, and energy. Treat yourself like an athlete, right? I would never have called myself an athlete. Not in a million years. Right now, I'm a little bit obsessed with hot yoga, okay? A lot obsessed with hot yoga. And I'm starting to treat myself like an athlete. What do I need to do when I'm not in the yoga studio that allows me to perform better in that one class every day, right? What do I need to do? So you don't have to be like a gold medalist to start thinking about these things and thinking about your energy, because just the amount of water I drink or what I eat or how much sleep I've had, we all know that that makes an impact. But when you have something you're doing every day and you start to notice how it makes an impact on you, then you can begin to upgrade that default and really begin to fuel up and notice the effects that energy and food and drink have on you. So I challenge you to be extraordinary every day, and the 3 keys to remind you. Number 1, stop trying and upgrade your language. Number 2, start asking questions and upgrade your life to be a quest. You're all heroes and heroines, right? On a journey here. You're on a quest. That's what life is. It's about being hungry for something, struggling, and then overcoming it or giving up. But that is life. It's every movie, it's every song, it's every story, it's everything that is around us. It is the meaning of life. So if you're on a quest, you might as well know what it is. And the third one, get in momentum and really upgrade your defaults so that you can start living at a more extraordinary level. These things will all make you much more valuable in your personal and in your business life.